Howdy, friends. It's Annie coming back at you from the very beautiful, frosty, frigid, frozen, fruited plains of western Kansas. And my goodness, it is cold tonight. 20 degrees with the wind chill factored in. The real feels 8. So it is cold. I did take Harvey out today because he sits by the front door every day at the same time, like a naughty little child if he doesn't get his way. So I did go out and play with him for about 15 minutes, and he'd still be out there if I wouldn't have quit when I did. It was just too cold. So, yep. Anyway, I hope you all had a great day. Hope it wasn't as cold in your neck of the woods, but I know some of you, it was. We are supposed to get snow and maybe some ice tonight, but I guess I'll know in the morning. So far, we have not. I've got a nasty little chest cold. I took a little cough medicine, but if I start coughing and sneezing, I'm sorry. I'll just have to quit sooner. Someone in the comments asked me how I got started stacking, and I have talked about this before. But today, when I was cleaning out my safe, I realized that it went back further than I thought, because I used to save wheat pennies, and a bunch of them I got from my grandpa, and I've had them for a long time, and I put them in bags, and I need to put them in tubes and clean this mess up. And that's what I've been working on today. I mean, the stuff that I've saved over the years is a big head scratcher. It really is. I mean, some of this stuff is, I probably ought to just go spend some of it. Like, for example, I don't know if I can find them. The good old Susan B. Anthony's are around here somewhere. Someone called me the other day who is interested in stacking and was telling me that they had a box full of Susan B. Anthony's. And, oh, these are the Sacagaweas. Another one that'll probably, these are not the Cheerio ones or anything. And I should just go out and spend them. Buy a few thin silver dimes, probably. But the person that called me was pretty excited about their Susan B. Anthony's. How much are they worth? And I'm like, $1. Well, that's not right, because I'm looking at some on eBay right now. One's worth $200,000 and one's worth $300,000. And I'm like, make a bid on them then. Well, there's one on here for $1,800 and it's missing part of the E in Liberty. And I'm like, so bid on that one, As far as I said, there might be a few strike errors, and I'm sure there are, that would make some of them worth a little more, whatever. But as far as I know, Susan B. Anthony is pretty much worth face value. You guys, if you know anything different, you can let me know in the comments. But Susan B. Anthony is Susan B. Anthony. Just like these Sacagaweas. They're, I know some in the cereal, or the Cheerios cereal had, I don't know, something about the tail feathers were different. But these are all the same. And I think I'm just going to go spend them, because why not? But we will see. I just have to stick them in my wallet and remember to take them along. But anyway, I also, when these quarter books came out, I got my twin sons. They were little boys, and I thought that'd be a fun way to do some stuff with them. And so we went out and did the quarter collecting. And then in the back of the book, there's a couple columns that were blank. So I ordered some what I thought to be cool looking old quarters off of the internet. I wish I would have ordered 1,000 times more at the time, even though I didn't have the money. But that was probably when I really got started. And then, as you know, each year I'd probably order a few things off of the U.S. Mint. I ordered some pretty cool American Silver Eagles, just different things. But I wasn't stacking. It was more collecting, and I didn't get carried away at all. I didn't even do them every year, just kind of here and there. And then, I don't know, probably, 10 years ago, I really, for some reason, started looking around and finding out that I wasn't the only one that liked to stack. But I did find out that there's not very many people that have a clue what you're talking about when you're talking about stacking. So when I met Coin Shop Chris a few years ago, we started talking on the phone, and my husband was like, "What's up with that?" And I'm like, "Darling, nothing." He's like one of my coffee drinking buddies, and he's the only person I know that I can talk shop with. And he got it, and he respected that. And Coin Shop Chris has been very nice to my family, and so that's why we get on YouTube and do videos and meet each other and talk to each other. And like I've told you guys before, I've met some really nice people. I'm very cautious, but that's just how it is. Anyway, I'll show you a few things that I drug out of the safe. And this is really kind of disappointing. I don't even remember where I got this, but it's pretty messed up. It's an 1888 Indian head penny with 2 large holes drilled through it. Now, why anyone would ever do that, I have no clue. Now, this side, I could see it better earlier. This would have been a very cool little penny if those holes were not drilled in it. But it is what it is, I've had it a long time, and I really do not remember where I got it. These are some of my old buffalo nickels from, oh, whoops, I just dropped something. And I'm sure all of you have seen these. I guess there's some stuff you can put on them to bring the year out on them, but I am not going to do that because I don't really have any reason to. These are a couple coins I found. This one is in pretty darn good shape. It's a 1922 Canadian nickel. That's why I always go through my change. And my husband's getting a lot better about it. And then this one, it's kind of weird, but it's a thick, chunky little coin. It says 1 pound on it. With the Queen. Now, I don't know if it's got the year on it. I don't see it. Probably does. And I did have a couple other pretty interesting ones. Here's some of my old war nickels. This was one that I thought was interesting. I think it says 1895. I've got my little loop right here. 1898. And it says one penny. Yeah, not something you see every day. And I got a few of these. I know. I'm gonna have to go through this whole mess and figure out what to do with some of this stuff. This so tiny. It's a Canadian dime, 1969. And I think let's see. That one's not too, yeah, some of these are just some foreign coinage that I've found. This one is, ooh, this one's a 1942. It's kind of worn down. I have no idea about this one. This is the same thing. I don't know what that says. So yeah, I'm gonna have to just go through these. This is a 1977. Found this. You all know what this is. And I found these bars back here. I believe I found 16 of them. I had them wrapped up in a piece of tin foil buried in the bottom of my safe. So that was a pleasant little surprise. And these I found and I found out if you had some uncirculated ones, they could be worth considerably more, obviously, than circulated. I mean, I don't know what that means exactly. Probably 65 cents, maybe. I don't know. You know, when we are talking about and we're listening to the news about the silver and what's happened, you know, we as stackers know how important it is for us to stack. So hopefully that's how we try to maintain some semblance of our wealth. But it occurred to me, you know, when they talk about it in the news, you know, we are $38 trillion in debt. I think people hear that so much that it's just like 38 million, 38 billion, you know. People kind of get desensitized to it. And I don't think any of us really have a clue how much $38 trillion it is, let alone 1 trillion. So that's kind of a crazy thought. And also, something that occurred to me today was, you know, 1 thin dime is now worth a little over $4. And when you, for example, when I tell my kids, you know, I show them 1 thin dime and I tell them, this thing's worth over $4 now. You know, I think they're just like, so, $4, what can you get with $4? I think I need to start saying, you know, as a stacker, times it by 100 or 1,000. And that's how you stack some real wealth. So in the future, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to encourage people, yes, if you own a few dimes, you know, you're in the 0.5% of people that stack. I think I heard on Rick Rule in an interview with some woman professor, I think she's from Canada. It was a great interview. And they were trying to ascertain how many stackers, or I'm sorry, how many people own precious metals in the United States. And they came up with like maybe 9 to 10%. You know, Aunt Sally's shoebox that's got, you know, a roll of dimes in it or whatever she was able to squirrel away over the years because she knew that it was valuable, but nobody else did. It's setting up in the attic. But the people that go out and actively stack 0.5%. So even if you've only got an ounce or a couple ounces or 5 ounces or 10, you know, you're way ahead of the ball game, because even though that may not seem like a lot, you know, it's a start and you're getting there. So don't give up. Did anyone listen to the interview that had Gerald Celente on it? He's been on a couple different interviews. He was on Capital-Cosm the other day. I think Danny kind of wanted to shut him down because when Gerald gets to going, he lets her rip. And he puts out some newsletter. It's called Trends something. But he's, I don't know, I think he's like, oh, I'm guessing probably 80 something. And he's well aware of what's going on, and I'm not the only one that isn't all about crypto, because when I started my channel, that was my impetus. Just because I don't believe in crypto. I know a lot of people have made some awesome money and they're still in the crypto market, and you know, if that's you, that's cool. I know some people have got out of it, made a lot of money, and put it in metals, which I think is fantastic. But I just don't believe in CBDCs, because to me, I know what it's going to lead to. You know, here, ma'am, would you like a stable coin? Here's your stable coin. Here, sir. Here's your Bitcoin. Actually, I'd probably rather have the Bitcoin than the stable coin, because this is your stable coin. It's digits on a screen, and supposedly it's gonna save our wrecked economy. But I'm not going to be helping save it in that department. You know, like Gerald Celente said, he goes from dirty cash to digital trash. I mean, I can relate to that 100%. I mean, honestly, I'd rather have the dirty cash because you have some modicum of privacy if you've got cash in your pocket, you know? Oh, this one's falling out. Looks like a good reason to take it out. That is nice, isn't it? I always give silver away at Christmas time, and I'm sure I've given some of these bars, which is why there's kind of a weird amount of them left. And I've got some more of these. I showed these the other day, but now I found 8 more of them. And that is a good surprise. From Silvertown. I don't think you can read that. I don't think I can get it in view very good. So in the meantime, encourage each other. You know, if you know anybody else that stacks, try to encourage each other. If you have a stacking friend, I'd say you're pretty lucky, because a lot of people don't. We don't talk about it for obvious reasons. So just remember that silver's up 95% year to date. That's pretty amazing. I love you guys. You're all in my prayers. Give your loved ones a hug. Tell them you love them. Keep your head on a swivel. Stay close to our Creator and the people in your life that matter the most. Always keep your head on a swivel. Take care. This is Annie, and I'm out.